That'll be great. And then that'll be it.
So when you have a hybrid deals are very difficult to push through
Right.
because they're hard for the investor to cash flow. Because you're asking the investor to pay the monthly mortgage payment and then the seller finance payment, and then they get to keep whatever's left after their expenses. So hybrid deals are very, very hard to cash flow. And then on top of that, you've got the maximum down payment of $40,000 in here. So your entry fee is also very high. So you have a $400,000 purchase price. You're going to take the mortgage balance. You're going to subtract it from the $400,000. You're going to subtract the down payment from the $400,000. Whatever's left over, if you subtract those two, that's your seller financed amount. And then you fill out everything else as normal. Your long-term rental, the current mortgage, and monthly payment. Interest rate, this is more just for your information. If it's higher than like 6%, again, that's another negative for a creative deal like this. And then you just go to the hybrid tab, and once you're here, you're going to put the mortgage.
Can you go back for just a second? The long-term rental thing is just what they would do monthly. What the market would say they would what the market says that they could get for the rent.
Correct.
That's what LTR is, right?
Correct.
And we need that number before we go to the hybrid.
Well, yeah, because there's no way to figure out if it's a good deal or not without knowing two things: how much it costs to own it and how much money it's going to make you.
Right, but we don't need the short term.
No.
Okay.
You don't need it. I mean, you can. Some people do short-term rentals, and those videos they're on my channel as well. But if it works as a long-term, you're good.
Okay.
So if you go to the hybrid tab, because that's the deal that we filled out, you put the mortgage balance or the interest payment here and the interest rate here. Again, the monthly payment is the thing that's most important. And this will always start at zero. So this is what the deal would look like if you sold it to an investor without paying the seller a monthly payment on the $230,000 worth of equity they have. This is what it would look like. And even this, with the cash on cash return being less than 10%, even this doesn't work. But it's close enough with that amount of cash flow that I would say, yeah, go ahead and push it. But the moment you add in the bare minimum, I mean, if you go to here at $230,000 at 0% interest, we should be giving them $638 a month. But giving them just $100 a month, deal's dead. Because now your cash on cash return is too low. And on top of that, you now have to convince the seller to take $100 a month on a $230,000 balance. If we make the payment something a little bit more reasonable, let's say $250. Well, here's what the deal looks like. So, and that really doesn't work. I mean, it didn't work before, but it definitely doesn't work now.
So the way that it would be with the $1,500 for the PITI, that does not go to the seller. That actually goes. They just pay that off.
It goes to the mortgage company.
So whose name? Like whose name is the house in? The seller right now or the buyer?
Well, are you talking about right now, or are you talking about after something like this would close?
No. While this is happening, it's still in the seller's name, correct?
The mortgage is in the seller's name.
Okay.
The house is in the new buyer's name.
Gotcha.
The investor. Like the deed, the title.
Right. Okay. I saw you changing numbers in the other video, and you were saying what you would have done, and it kind of helped a little bit.
Yeah, I was thinking about a way to do that, but unfortunately, there's no way to adjust this to where it would work.
But if you were, what would you do? You would just take down payment down. Go ahead.
You can do $20,000 here. This would go up to $250,000 here. And then if I go back over to hybrid, your cash on cash return is good. But again, the most you can give them every single month. No, not that much. Okay. $150 a month. And you are $60 above the cusp of what's allowed. So if the seller says, okay, I'll take the 20,000, can I get $175 a month? No, the deal doesn't work.
Okay.
So that's the only thing you really could do it. And it's not anything that's wrong with the house or anything like that. It's just there are things that you can't control. You can't control what the mortgage monthly payment is, and we can't control what the rental rate is in that area. And unfortunately for this property, it's just real tight.
Mm-hmm. So the seller's equity is just not accounted for really with the sub 2 and the hybrid.
What do you mean not accounted for?
So if he has 130,000 that he owes, and the house is actually worth 400,000, right? You have what, 270 in there of equity?
Correct.
Where does that go?
It's right here. The seller finance amount. This is their equity. So if we go back to the inputs page, they want a $400,000 purchase price, which means if they sold it on market by itself, traditionally, they would walk away with $270,000 after escrow paid off the mortgage, right? So in this situation, it's a $400,000 purchase price still. The mortgage balance, they're owed $270,000 in equity. Well, we're going to sell it. We're going to sell or finance 250 of it, and we're going to give them 20 of it at closing.
Right.
And then this $150 a month goes towards paying them their equity every single month. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So that one, okay. I was thinking about that. Just more, because that's crazy. So the idea with let's just say the hybrid actually works. Let's just say it works, right? The idea is that at the end of 8 years, is that what we say, that they would be able to do a balloon payment, the buyer?
Yeah.
And just give them the rest of their equity at the time.
Correct. So if you had told this seller that they were going to be getting $150 every single month times, what did you say, 8 years?
Yes.
So that would be what's 150? It's $14,500, give or take. So if you take $250,000 and then subtract 15 grand, then that means at the end of the balloon period, they're going to have a check of $235,000. That's their equity. That's not the tricky part, is getting them to accept $150 a month.
Oh yeah.
Over 8 years.
Oh yeah. I guess I'm thinking about future things, and how to actually word it and say it. But okay, so that means if we did the deal, let's just say it worked and we did the deal today, do we account for any appreciation for when it closes? Or whatever we say today is what's going to be?
Yeah. No, I mean, there's not
going
to be a ton of appreciation in a 3-week closing.
No. I'm talking about in the 8. Okay, in the 8 years.
Oh, no. That's none of it. That would be like if you sold me a car today and then you find out 5 years from now it's a classic and it's worth twice the price. Are you going to come back to me and say, hey, I want more money?
Because you're saying that we close in 3 weeks and the house will no longer belong to the seller.
Correct. Yeah, it's not theirs.
I thought we closed later in the 8 years. Got you.
No, just the balloon is done in the 8 years, and at that point, that has nothing to do with us. That's between the buyer and them.
Okay.
And title.
Thank you. Okay, I got you. That makes sense.
Did you have any other questions?
Nope, that was it.
Awesome. I will have this video ready for you. It should be ready in about 24 hours in case you need to review it again.
Yes, that would be awesome. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Not a problem. Have a good rest of your day.
You too. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye.